This time on American Viscountess, I'm visiting the beautiful Elmore Court in Gloucestershire, and there is an exciting new project happening here, which is all about getting closer to nature. When I married into the British aristocracy, it was the start of a wonderfully exciting journey, but it was also a little daunting. I became a Viscountess, and for an American girl from a small town outside Chicago, that was quite a shock. I live with my husband Luke, heir to the Earl of Sandwich, and our family at Mapperton House in Dorset. Living in a place like this is a joy, but also a challenge. And every day we're aware that we're preserving a very special part of Britain's heritage. Mapperton has opened up an extraordinary new world for me, and I can't wait to share it with you all. So if you love castles and manors and stately homes as much as I do, please join this American Viscountess as I journey into the British countryside in search of some of Britain's finest historic houses. Hello everybody, and lovely to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me here in the drawing room at Mapperton for another fascinating historic house visit. Elmore Court is a glorious 16th century historic house on the edge of the Cotswolds, but this site has been home to the Guise family since the 13th century. Anselm Guise has a very bold vision for Elmore's future and is opening the house and estate to visitors in a completely inspiring way. Elmore is literally going back to its roots, or dare I say, going wild. Hello.
Hi, Julie.
How are you?
Very well.
Nice to see you.
too.
Nice to see you. Wow. Beautiful day. Thank you for making sure that the weather was
We try.
okay. Brilliant. But is there a big party going on here?
Well, we do weddings. So we've got a wedding tomorrow, and they're arriving later today. So yeah, it's set up quite a big one.
Okay, but it's not Saturday.
No,
So
we do weddings Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and most Sundays. And
You're
bank
kidding
holiday
me.
Mondays. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to do the maths here, Anselm. So that is,
so there's a lot.
okay, how many a year is that?
We do like 160. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
160 weddings a
We
year.
do. So every weekend we're flat out. So
Oh
it's,
my gosh. But that is incredible.
yeah, it's going really well,
Yeah.
and people love it. I mean, this house was built for partying. So.
Yeah. So this is sort of where they get married. They walk down here.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, where we've just come in, generally speaking, the wedding will happen here, the ceremony will happen here, and then people will move out into the kind of reception rooms, the drawing room, out into the lawns, and
Right.
then we've got a purpose-built bunker made out of mud that's completely soundproof at the back of the house where the party, the dinner and dancing happens. So that's kind of like our marquee, and it's completely sustainably built, and it's.
And people
difficult.
stay in the house.
And we've got 16 bedrooms. So and then we've got a coach house.
Okay, I've just spotted some heraldry, coat of arms. I'm
Yeah.
slightly obsessed. I have probably a weird obsession with these, but I did when I was walking up. I was looking to see if I see the 3 Montesquieu lozenges. I always look for that to see if we're related.
We're not related. Yeah, sadly. I mean, yeah.
Not related. Darn it.
I mean, you know, these things do happen actually, weirdly. But
Yeah.
seeing as people get married here is quite nice because those are all families that we've married. The guys have married over time. So
Yeah.
you know,
So Anselm, tell me how long your family has been here.
we got given the land in 1262 by Henry III. So yeah.
So I'm just going to do a little bit of maths here. So that's 800.
It's kind of, it's getting there.
Getting there
It's
to
getting there. I
800
mean, the oldest part of the house is actually where we are now, which dates back to about 1580. But the cellars date back to then.
Incredible.
So there's a hole in the ground, but obviously in those days you didn't, unless you were building a castle or you were the church, nothing got built out of stone. Really.
Right.
So, but I've got the actual seal that we were given by Henry III We had to pay 1 clove of gillyflower to the crown, which is over here on the wall.
This is it.
This is it, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That
It's
is...
original grant of the Manor of Elmore by John, son of Hubert de Burgh, Earl of Kent, and Grand Justiciary of England in the reign of Henry III. Anselm de Guise, moi.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm really old.
That's right. You are really old. So
Yeah.
Anselm then is obviously a family name.
It's a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's lots of Anselms.
Right. Down.
Yeah, and so we've got this amazing family tree that goes back all the way. So
Where are we now then in the house?
So this is the drawing room,
Beautiful.
and actually this is great. So when we have events, this is where people come back after the gillyflower, which is renamed after the rent that we paid, which is the event space. They come back in here, and this is so there's quite a lot of fun. It happens here. It's like 2 in the morning.
Beautiful.
We've got a bar at the end.
Can I go check out that bar?
Yeah, you should crack it
Oh
open.
my goodness. And also just, is all this original? Yeah,
This is all original, yeah. Obviously this isn't original.
Yeah.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
Beautiful carvings all around. Just absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. Okay, so just really quickly, so I can get my head around. So I know land was granted by Henry III, and then who built the house? Which one of your ancestors?
Well, it's not an easy one to answer that, because it was done. Architecturally, it's quite unusual, because there's lots of bits that were kind of added and subtracted. So there's not one person really.
Yeah.
The person who did the most is actually was in the 18th century, which we know about, which is William Vernon Guise, my great-great-grandfather.
Okay.
And of course, I've built loads too.
Right.
You know.
You built this bar.
I built this bar, importantly, and then the gillyflower and all the rest of it.
Right. Okay.
So,
And you're building tree houses.
We're building tree houses, yeah.
So fantastic. So I'd love to go chat to you about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, funny enough, I'm really into sustainability and trying to do something different with the environment. So when I first inherited, all the land was in in tenancy.
Yes,
so I couldn't do anything with that, and I needed to make some money because there's loads of inheritance tax and the house is falling down. So the only thing I could really sweat, if you like, was this house. But since then, that was 10 years ago, land has come back in hand.
Right.
And I'm doing a rewilding project, and we're doing a load of regenerative agriculture.
Yeah.
Which is kind of different to this, and I wanted to have an interface where our guests, the hospitality side, could kind of interface with the natural side of what we're doing. So we've built a load of tree houses, which have just finished now, which is really exciting.
So I can go see them?
We can go and see them, yeah. Let's go and see them.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Anselm has built 6 tree houses for guests to stay and experience being in nature. And when I visited, the finishing touches were being made before the big opening day. Now I'm hearing some noise in the background. So is that the treehouse noise?
Yeah, so we're very, very, very close to finishing. It's all a bit stressful right now because this weekend we've got our first reviewers coming. So it's kind of got to be ready for Saturday. Literally 5 days ago, this felt like a building site.
Yeah.
Now it's suddenly like, ooh,
proper road.
I mean, you know, the grass is growing really quickly. Thank God.
Fantastic.
Everything's beginning to look.
So when people arrive, they're parking their cars?
Yeah.
Here.
So each treehouse has got its own boardwalk. So this is
wow.
The boardwalk to what we've called Sky, and this is accessible. So it's wheelchair accessible, and you've got space for 2 cars.
Right.
And we've got electric car charging points for every single one. Yeah.
So oh my gosh, I can come here, bring my electric car, my EV.
You damn well can, yeah, yeah, exactly. And then so this one's called Kite.
Okay.
And we've got 2 parking space for this. And
amazing.
there's Dave, who's doing the.
This is incredible. Wow.
And then you have your own walkway.
I mean,
these have been like so stressful getting right because it's actually really hard to do this without causing any harm to the woodlands and without putting any holes in the ground. So they're all They're like concrete little feet.
Oh yes, yes, I can see. Yeah, difficult. Yes, but lovely.
It's really cool, and we've got this amazing lighting. So in the night, it sort of glows, and it's
I feel like I'm literally walking into Costa Rica here. Everybody.
That's the intention.
Okay, great. So I nailed it, didn't I?
You did, yeah. It is. It's you know.
No, but I really do. Like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm actually astounded right now. Really, I am. I honestly do not feel that I'm in England. These trees are what, though?
These are laurels.
Okay.
So these are kind of not really indigenous, but actually they're quite evocative. And
they are.
They're, you know.
I love them.
And they're lovely. And
they're lovely.
And the other thing is they're evergreen, so it's going to be like this all year round.
Oh.
So.
So here we are. Oh my goodness,
and here we are.
This is incredible.
So we've got the housekeeping team are in here at the moment.
Okay, I don't really have any words right now. You know, as we know, like glamping has been like super big in England, lots of people glamping, but I've never come across these tree houses before. So this is, I mean, I'm absolutely astonished in what I'm seeing, but what made you decide to do tree houses in the first place?
I just love tree house. I mean, you know, it's like, I'd spent so much time in my childhood like clambering around in trees. You know?
Right.
So it's just like, it's just one of those things, and I've always been somebody who's bought kind of treehouse books like Cabin Porn or whatever it is, and sort of that kind of cabiny thing. And, and also I've got a, you know, I love festivals and I love glamping, but I kind of, that's been, I feel a bit done.
Yes, I agree.
And when I was thinking, right, I want to have somewhere that people can stay and they can look out over the land, it was just a complete no-brainer.
This view is, first of all, is sensational. Glamping, you're zipped in.
Yeah.
You're in there, you're zipped in. Yeah. There's not really windows.
No, exactly. No, this is a house.
This is a house.
Up in the trees. I mean, it's not really, I mean, really strictly speaking, we haven't built it round a tree. It's a building on stilts, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, and the way it's built into the ground is that it's got screw piles. There's no foundation, so we've caused very little damage to the actual environment it's in. So it's very sensitive. We built it with really sustainable materials. We've tried to get everything that we can. It's not been possible to do that completely, but I kind of wanted it to be that. So the kitchen's outside, so you have to kind of engage with the elements a bit. We're kind of forcing people to.
Yes.
Even though there is an oven and a little mini kitchenette in the kind of indoor bit.
Okay.
So we want people to kind of, even in the winter, put a jumper on and get the fire going. And,
yes.
You know, blanket up and, you know, and get involved.
Yes. And be in nature.
And be outside and not cuddled away in a fluffy towel.
Yeah.
Though, there is a fluffy towel. So it's
and a fluffy bed. And there are some, of course, it's comfortable.
It's comfortable, so, you know, I just love, and I love contrast. I love, you know, because these are quite, the way we've designed it is quite clean lines, quite Scandinavian.
Yes, it is.
And
very.
It's quite contrast against the kind of, you know, organic explosion of what's happening around it. So.
It's beautiful. And then also, I love that the bath is there, because you can have sort of this beautiful bird song surrounding you while you're running a hot bath. I mean, if it were me, it'd be a cold bath. But just listening to the bird song, breathing in the air,
and being out here,
and with this view,
and with this view, and we've done a wetland scrape, and we're hoping that the abundance of the birds and the bees and all the rest of it will just be more and more of a cacophony over time as what's happening out on the land.
Well, yes,
develops.
Well, of course, and that's part of your rewilding project, because we know that, you know, with the rewilding project comes this increase in biodiversity, which means an increase in birdsong, in bees, in the invertebrate, and all of that. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful. Can I just go back to the beginning here? How long has this project taken to get off the ground? The tree houses in particular.
I started when I kind of decided I'm going to go for it was in 2020, and that was because of the pandemic. I'd been thinking about it. It was like, I've got to get on with it. It was kind of like an idea, but so and that was because the wedding business was so badly hit by the pandemic. I was like, I need more strings to my bow, and also what we're doing with the land, I just want to get on with it, because I kind of felt like the pandemic was us meddling with nature and what happens, you know, blah blah blah. So it's been, from actual decision, it's been like three and a half years or so.
Incredible. Listen, Anselm, I'm just going to sort of take this all in. I mean, this is what you want people to do, right?
Yeah, just be quiet, be still.
Just be quiet and be still.
Yeah.
And the view from the tree houses looks out onto a landscape which Anselm is in the process of giving back to nature.
The rewilding is down here beyond this woodland.
Ah.
And the land out that way, and the River Severn's about 500-600 metres that way.
Oh my goodness,
it
wow.
wraps around the estate. And
I didn't know it was that close.
yeah,
Fantastic.
really, really close. Yeah, and this land out here was historically had been very heavily drained.
Right.
To try and make agricultural land. So what we've done is we've been breaking the land drains and letting the land hold the water. So this bit we're kind of returning it back to, you know, what it used to be, which was a wetlands.
Which are wetlands, exactly.
You know, and Elmore is called Elmore, we think, because it's eel more of eels, because back in the day there would have been, because eels, I didn't realise this until quite recently, they made up more of our diet than all other fish combined in the medieval times.
Oh my goodness.
So this would have been like a hive of activity and
Yes,
full
yes,
of
of
eels
course.
and all the rest of it. So, and of course the eel story is amazing as well, because what we're doing here is by improving eel populations, because of the fact they go to the Sargasso Sea, we're impacting on the biodiversity that's happening in the Caribbean Sea, which is, so there's this kind of amazing,
is incredible. This is
exciting link between,
Yes.
you know, doing one thing here can have an effect on something
and something
on the outside
else.
of the world, you know.
How brilliant.
So it's exciting. It's exciting to kind of, you start pulling these levers and you start realising
Yes.
the impact you're having.
Well,
is
and
actually-
exactly, and I think for many people, I mean, I know I was in the same boat before we started our rewilding project properly, that people think of rewilding as just sort of letting nature go and that's it,
Yeah.
and I get that, but also there's the wetlands.
I mean, we have done stuff.
Look
I mean,
at
out here we've done wetland scrapes,
Yeah,
and we broke all the land drains, like I said, so the water doesn't run away. And then by putting a scrape, it kind of automatically get these ponds, and that's bringing in already loads of bird life. So we're doing that there, and then sort of over this way, which is slightly less low-lying. The idea is to allow that to become a semi-scrubby, 20% woodland cover thing,
Right.
but over a really long period of time.
okay.
And that's kind of over that way. And then we've got a herd of longhorn here already.
Right, so and when did you bring in your longhorn?
They arrived quite recently, so it was September 21,
Okay,
so a year and a half ago, and we've had one lot of babies from them.
fantastic.
And we're just about, they're calving now as well,
Right,
so it's
yes.
round 2 has happened. And then when I can afford it, we'll fence it, and we're going to have, you know, pigs and the
Yeah.
ponies.
Are you
and-
doing Exmoor ponies? Yeah. So we just got our Exmoor ponies. And those,
Wow.
yeah, fantastic.
That is
and then,
so exciting.
And I think it's really worth explaining this for, you know, everybody who's kind of watching this who doesn't
Yeah.
know so much how these animals in particular work together. First of all, like to bring back some native species, if
Yeah.
you like, but the cattle are, you know, they're brilliant at grazing and they're
Yeah.
clever grazers. And then you bring in the ponies and they're fantastic at browsing.
Yeah.
And then you bring in the pigs and they're brilliant at the rootling.
Yeah.
And they all kind of work together to
Well, I
capture
think-
card.
I
it's
mean, the big one really. I mean, I really can't wait for the pigs, because this has been kind of grazed land, so it's got a strong grassy sward, and what we want is other plants to kind of start growing out in these fields. But
Yeah.
because if a seed lands on the grass, it just hasn't got a chance.
Right.
Bring in a pig, it'll just kind of hammer the ground, plough it up
That's
essentially,
right.
reveal the soil, and then other plants can start getting in. So that way you start getting a diversity away from just grass.
Right.
And that's what we want, and biodiversity. And the more I look into it, the more I realise that it's diversity that is the healthy thing. It's like having lots of different species is the thing that's the magic. And it's the same in your
Right.
like your gut, or
Yes.
you know, like in everything. It's variety is
key.
key.
And
you know?
it's also, it's the variety of the biodiversity, but also it's the abundance of it. So that they continue to thrive, and every year, when you're tracking them, you're getting, you know, you can track that you have 100% more moths this
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
300% more butterflies, you know, but even it's the invertebra and the sort of
It's
ground
everything.
nest.
It's, and it's
everything.
what's happening in the soil underneath.
soil,
and
yeah.
It's just everything. It's
Yeah.
just, and it's kind of magic.
It is magic.
It happens all on its own, and and what we need to do, and this is, I think, the biggest thing, is to stop interfering. It's so easy to kind of go, this is happening. I wonder if oh no, don't.
If I tinker this.
If I tinker, it'll
do-
start,
yeah.
but actually the thing is to not.
Yeah.
You know, and things, and as it finds its feet and it rebalances, some things are going to go completely wild, and you'll suddenly go, oh my God, it's turning into a kind of thistle hell. But actually, if you let it go, then you'll find plants, animals that will come in that will feed on thistles, and they'll rebalance that kind of thing. So it's that.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
you know,
trusting nature, and it's
Exactly.
trusting the universe, and it's with, you know, it's us, as humans, we have this ability to want to control everything, and
we
nature
almost can't help ourselves.
Right,
And
exactly.
it's like, and it's, you know, land is not, one of the local farmers was talking to me about it, and he was like, couldn't understand that I would not be producing food from the land. It's like, land is for producing food, and I was like, no, it's not.
No, right.
Who gives us this divine right to kind of like,
Right.
you know, sort of take what we want from it? It's for all beating hearts.
That's right.
You know, and we are obviously part of that. Not
Right,
saying we shouldn't
right.
feed ourselves, but it's not at the exclusion of everything else.
And this is it, we're walking on it. It was absolutely fascinating talking to Anselm about his rewilding plans and to see those amazing tree houses. What an incredible place. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you back here for another historic house visit. But until then, enjoy getting out into the landscape wherever you are and however you can. Bye, everybody.